What if I told you the secret to staying focused, productive, and consistently successful isn't hustle, motivation, or waking up at 5 a.m.? It's something far simpler, and far more powerful. It's a quiet philosophy from Japan that has helped shape the most efficient factories, the most organized schools, and the most focused people on Earth. It's called Kaizen, and once you understand it, you'll never see growth the same way again. The obsession with consistency. There's a reason Japan is known for its meticulous attention to detail. From the bullet train that arrives on time down to the second, to the sushi chef who trains for years just to perfect how he slices fish, the Japanese mindset is built on precision. But that precision doesn't come from natural genius or robotic discipline. It comes from Kaizen, the art of continuous improvement. Kaizen isn't just a buzzword in Japan. It's woven into the fabric of everyday life. Students, factory workers, CEOs, homemakers, they all live by it. Unlike the Western obsession with big wins and flashy progress, Kaizen focuses on small, steady steps forward, a little bit better than yesterday, and then a little more the day after that. That's why when you visit Japan, everything feels so smooth. Vending machines always work. Streets are clean. Trains run like clockwork. It's not magic, it's Kaizen. What is Kaizen? At its core, Kaizen means change for the better. But it's not just about making change, it's about making change sustainable. Most people start a new habit full of energy, going to the gym, learning a skill, starting a business. But soon enough, they hit a wall. Why? Because they went too big, too fast. Kaizen avoids that trap by making change feel easy. You don't set out to transform your life in 30 days. You aim to improve by just 1% every day. That's it. Small, manageable, almost invisible improvements. But over time, those 1% gains stack up. That's the magic. The idea originated in Japanese manufacturing after World War II. Companies needed to rebuild but had limited resources. They couldn't afford huge leaps, so they focused on trimming waste, improving processes, and empowering every worker to speak up when they noticed something that could be done better. The results were revolutionary. Toyota, for example, became a global powerhouse by using Kaizen to improve its assembly lines. Workers were trained not just to work, but to observe. If something seemed inefficient, even if it saved only a few seconds, they were encouraged to change it. Thousands of small changes added up to huge improvements in speed, quality, and cost effectiveness. Kaizen at work, the Toyota example. Let's take a closer look at Toyota, often considered the birthplace of modern Kaizen. In Toyota's production system, every single employee, regardless of rank, has the power to stop the entire production line. Yes, even an entry-level worker can pull a cord, known as the andon, and halt operations if they spot a defect or inefficiency. This kind of power might sound dangerous, but at Toyota, it's not just allowed, it's expected. Workers aren't blamed for slowing down production. They're praised for noticing issues that others missed. Every mistake becomes a chance to improve the system. This creates a culture where people are constantly learning, adjusting, and evolving. The focus isn't just on output, it's on long-term quality. Kaizen at Toyota also means that workers reflect daily on their performance, ask what went well, what didn't, and how they can tweak their approach for tomorrow. Over decades, this mindset helped Toyota surpass car giants like Ford and GM. It wasn't brute force. It was refinement. It was Kaizen, the psychological power of 1%. So why is Kaizen so powerful, especially in today's world where focus is a luxury? Because it bypasses the brain's natural resistance to change. Big goals trigger anxiety. Your brain sees them as threats, and you end up procrastinating or giving up. But small goals, they're non-threatening. You don't need motivation to do one push-up. You don't need courage to write one sentence. But over time, those tiny actions build identity. You become someone who works out, someone who writes, someone who improves. This is what Stanford researcher DJ Fogg calls the tiny habits method, which mirrors Kaizen perfectly. By anchoring a small action to a daily routine and celebrating its completion, you train your brain to crave progress. That craving becomes habit. That habit becomes discipline. And that discipline becomes momentum. In Japan, this is second nature. You'll see students spending hours solving one math problem, not because they're obsessed with perfection, but because they believe every repetition sharpens their mind. It's not seen as slow, it's seen as deep. That's Kaizen. Kaizen in Japanese schools. Japanese education is where Kaizen truly comes to life. Students clean their own classrooms. They don't have janitors. Why? Because if you maintain your environment every day, it never becomes a mess. This daily act builds discipline, mindfulness, and respect for shared spaces. It's not punishment, it's responsibility. The school day is structured around routine. Morning greetings, shared lunches, group tasks, and afternoon reflections. Every aspect is an opportunity for incremental improvement. Teachers encourage students to correct their own mistakes, not to punish them, but to help them learn from them. This fosters a growth mindset from a young age. Homework in Japan is consistent but not overwhelming. The goal isn't to cram, it's to repeat, to reinforce. And over time, this repetition leads to mastery. Students aren't pushed to be the best instantly. They're taught to improve slowly, quietly, consistently. That's why you'll find Japanese students so focused during study sessions. It's not fear, it's flow. It's the Kaizen rhythm of daily refinement, Kaizen in everyday life. But Kaizen isn't limited to school or work. It's everywhere in Japanese society. In traditional tea ceremonies, every gesture is refined over time. In martial arts, the same movement is practiced thousands of times. In gardening, tiny tweaks are made to perfect the landscape, sometimes over decades. Even in modern life, Kaizen shows up in unexpected places. You'll see elderly Japanese people walking daily, tracking their steps, improving posture. You'll see families decluttering their homes little by little, not in one big weekend purge, but through slow, thoughtful reduction. Minimalism in Japan isn't aesthetic, it's functional. The fewer things you own, the more clearly you can think. Every item is chosen carefully. Every routine is honed. Kaizen teaches that chaos isn't fixed with effort, it's fixed with design. How you can use Kaizen. So, how do you apply Kaizen to your own life? You don't need to live in Japan or work at Toyota. You just need to start small. Let's say you want to write a book. Don't aim for 1,000 words a day. Just write one sentence. That's Kaizen. Want to build muscle? Forget the 2-hour gym routine. Do 5 push-ups today. That's Kaizen. Want to stop doom scrolling at night? Start by putting your phone down 1 minute earlier than yesterday. That's Kaizen. It's not the size of the action, it's the consistency. Every time you repeat a small action, you strengthen a mental groove. That groove becomes a habit. And once it's a habit, it becomes effortless. You can also use the Kaizen question. What's one tiny thing I can do today to be 1% better? Just one, not 10. Ask it every morning and act on it. You'll be amazed at how those tiny 1% gains change your life over weeks, months, and years. Why it's so effective in the modern world. In a world obsessed with hustle, Kaizen is almost rebellious. While everyone else burns out chasing 10x growth, Kaizen whispers, just do a little bit better. It's not about lowering your ambition. It's about extending your timeline. It's about making growth sustainable, so you don't quit halfway through. And in a time where attention is fragmented and motivation comes in waves, Kaizen becomes a stabilizer. It turns your goals into systems. It turns chaos into clarity. It turns ambition into rhythm. And that rhythm helps you outlast everyone who started faster but fizzled out. Kaizen doesn't promise fast results, but it guarantees lasting ones. Mastery through small steps. So now you know the secret. The Japanese don't stay laser focused because they're superhuman. They stay focused because they practice Kaizen. Small, daily actions that stack into greatness. If you're tired of starting over, burning out, or feeling overwhelmed by big goals, try going small. Start with one change, one sentence, one better decision. Write it down. Track your 1%. Celebrate it. Then build on it tomorrow. That's how you master anything. That's how you change your life. That's how the Japanese stay laser focused. If this video helped you understand Kaizen and gave you something to think about, drop a comment below. What's the 1% improvement you'll make today? Like this video, subscribe for more mindset shifting content, and share it with someone who needs this quiet revolution. Let's build something better, one small step at a time.